Explorers. It's great to see you again. Today is Friday, April 17th, 2020. I am Miss Estrada, and I will be teaching you today's lesson. Before we continue today, let's review some of the things that we have learned throughout the week with all the other teachers. And today I want to focus on how to know what strategies to use to identify if a word problem is an addition problem or a subtraction problem. That is very important to know, because if you make a mistake by making this decision, it won't be possible to have a correct answer. So today I'm going to show you a list of keywords that you need to pay attention to. Every time you have a word problem, you need to look for these words. So these keywords will tell you if this is an addition problem or a subtraction problem. Let's start with addition words. We have the words add, altogether, both, combine, more, join, plus, sum, or total. If you find a word problem with any of these words, that might be a keyword that is telling you, hey, this is an addition word, so you are about to solve an addition problem, okay? I have an example of a question that we might find in an addition problem. How many in all? It is very, very common to have this. How many in all? So when you identify a word problem as an addition problem, there is one number sentence that you need to follow, which is blank plus blank equals blank. Remember, you have the two parts, two smaller parts, and when you put them together, you will find a greater number. On the other hand, there are subtraction words like left, less than, take away, minus, remain, difference, went away, subtract, or decrease. These are only some of the words. There are more, but these are the most common ones. When you read an addition problem and you find any of these words, that might be a key word that you need to pay attention to, because these words are telling you, hey, this is a subtraction problem. How do you make sure? When you look at the question, it usually tells you something like this. How many are left? Okay? And when you decide that you are about to solve a subtraction problem, you need to follow this number sentence. Okay? Blank minus blank equals blank. Remember, on addition, you use a plus sign. On subtraction, you use a minus sign. Okay? With this being said, let's take a look at today's content objective. We will work on two word problems, analyze and identify the strategies to be used. Also, we are going to double check the result by using a different strategy. It is very important that every time you solve a problem, you make sure that you get to the correct number. Okay, how do you do that? Very easy. You use a different strategy, and if you get the same number, that means that your exercise was correct. So let's start with the first word problem that we're going to work on today. Peter likes to catch frogs near the pond. He caught 11 frogs and his little brother Jimmy caught 7 more. How many frogs did they catch in all? Okay, what is the first step that we need to do here? We need to think, what kind of problem is this? Is this an addition problem or is this a subtraction problem? I bet the answer is on the words that the problem is using. So let's take a look again and pay attention. every number that you find in a word problem is important. So we need to identify numbers and identify the keywords to know if this is an addition or subtraction problem. So Peter likes to catch frogs near the pond. So the problem is about Peter. He caught 11 frogs. Oh, that's a number. We need to pay attention to this number. 11 frogs. And his little brother, Jimmy, who is another character in this problem, caught 7 more. That's another number. We need to pay attention to this number 7. But they said caught 7 more. I think I just heard this word in one of the two lists for addition or subtraction problems. This word more, let's just circle it because I think it's important. Then we have, how many frogs did they catch in all? How many? I remember this expression, how many? So I think that's important too. How many frogs did they catch in all? In all. I remember seeing the word all. So let's circle that again. So these are the most important words that we can find in this problem. Numbers 11 and 7, the words more, and the expressions how many in all. So it is your time now to think and decide what kind of problem is this? Is this an addition problem or is this a subtraction problem? I want you to think and I want you to say it to somebody who is with you right now. This is an addition problem or this is a subtraction problem. Tell to this person. I think you're right. But let's make sure. Let's go back to the list to see if you were right. Oh, we have this list of addition words. Let's see. We have the words more. And we also have how many in all. How many in all? Good. So that's for sure. This is an addition problem. So you did very well. Very good job for you. Okay. Now let's take a look at the number sentence that we are going to use. It's blank plus blank equals blank. Okay. Blank plus blank equals blank. Blank plus blank. What are these two? These are the two parts that combine together will get to the whole. What is the whole? Remember, the whole is always the greatest number. So if we have the parts here, we are going to find a new number that is going to be greater than any of the two numbers that we already saw. Greater than 7, greater than 11. Okay? So now we know that this is an addition problem. What strategies can I use to solve this problem? Let's take a look. We have the number line. We can use a number line. Okay, how do we use a number line? We use it to count on. We use it to make little jumps so we can get to the number. Okay, so we count on with this. We also have number bonds. And if you take a look at this example, they have two parts. They have 5 and 2, and the whole is empty because that is the number that you are about to find, okay? You need to find the whole in an addition problem. You always find the whole. Another strategy would be using 10 frames. With the 10 frames, or you can also make tens, and it's going to be easier to visualize the number that you need to get. You also have the cube train, okay? I know that it's not very easy to have cubes at home, but I am sure you may have Lego, so you can use them too. Anything that you can put together will work very well, okay? So how do you use how do you make a number train? You find maybe 2 different colors, okay? One with 11, one with 7, and then you put them together and count. How many did you get? Okay? And finally, we have the counters or just drawings. What are counters? We have these little chips in 2 different colors that you make 2 different groups, one with 11, one with 7, in 2 different colors, and you put them together and count again. I know a lot of people don't have this at home, but anything can be a counter. You can use paper clips, you can use erasers, you can use you can use beans, anything. Anything can be a counter, okay? Also, if you don't have a lot of things to count, you can use drawings. You can get your journal or any piece of paper and just draw. You can draw little circles, you can draw objects, you can draw anything, little sticks. You can even make tally marks. Okay, so you can make the tally marks and then count how many you have. Okay, that's another strategy. So we don't use hands anymore because now we're counting up to 20. When we were counting up to 10, it was very easy. We have 10 fingers. But now that we have 20, it might be a little bit confusing. And of course, we're going to get higher and higher and higher. So using our hands is not so useful anymore, okay? So let's try to use a different strategy now. I think today we should solve this problem using drawings. I like drawings, okay? Are you ready? So let's start with our problem. The first thing that we have here is that Peter has 11 frogs. 11 frogs, okay? So let's start by drawing 11 frogs. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Now we have 11 frogs. What do we need to do? What is the next step in our strategy? Take your pencil and just draw the other frogs that you need to add. Okay, remember that little Jimmy got 7 frogs. So we need to add to these drawings 7 more frogs. Okay, so let's do these frogs. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So how many frogs do we have in all now? How many frogs do we have in all now? Because we had one of the parts that was 11 frogs, okay? And the other part is 7 more frogs. Now, if we count them together, we can get to the whole, which, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, or we don't even need to count those because we already knew that there were 11. So we can count on 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. Also, 11 plus 7 makes 18. Good job. 18 frogs in all. Good. But I can't be convinced that there are 18 frogs. There is always a good idea to double check. How do we double check? We double check by using a different strategy and solving this problem again. Okay? This time I think it would be a good idea for us to use the number line to solve this problem. That's another strategy that is very useful. And if you don't have a number line, you can just write it and then you have one. Okay, so it's very useful during tests. I like them. So let's start with our number line. Okay, to start with, in addition, we take a number line and we make little jumps, right? Where do we jump? We count on or do we count back? Where do we go? You count on. That means that you make jumps to get the number larger and larger and larger every time. You will get to a greater number. Remember, your whole is always a bigger number than the other two. Okay? So what comes next? We had 11 frogs. So we need to identify where is 11 in this number line. Here it is, number 11. We circle the 11 if we can, and then we need to count on how many jumps do we need to do. How many frogs did little Jimmy get? He caught 7 little frogs. So you are going to make 7 jumps and see where you stop, okay? So let's start. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 frogs. Where did we stop? In number 18. So by using drawings, our result was 18. There were 18 frogs in all. And by using our number line, we also got to 18. So what does that tell us? That we were right. There are definitely 18 frogs in all. Okay, very good job. Now let's try to do another exercise. Okay, a new word problem. Ready? Okay, there are 20 butterflies in my garden. When I went to take a closer look, 8 butterflies went away. How many butterflies are left? Again, the first thing I need to ask myself is, what am I going to do? What strategies am I going to use? Is this an addition problem or is this a subtraction problem? What did we do to find out? I think the best strategy was to read the word problem word by word and pay attention to the numbers and the keywords. Okay, if you recognize any keywords, just circle it. So there are 20 butterflies in my garden. Number 20 is important. When I went to take a closer look, 8 butterflies went away. Number 8 is also important. And what happened to the 8 butterflies? Right, they went away. Away, I think I've heard that word too, away. That's a key word, so let me circle it. They went away. And the question is, how many butterflies are left? Again, how many is always an important word to let you know that they're asking you about a number. How many butterflies are left? I am sure we saw the word left. So now, this is your time to think and decide, is this an addition problem or is this a subtraction problem? Again, tell a person that is with you, this is an addition problem or this is a subtraction problem. Okay, ready? I think you got it. You got it. But let's make sure. Let's go back to the Anchor chart with the subtraction problems because I am sure you were thinking, oh, these are subtraction words. So, look, we have the word left, which corresponds to a subtraction word problem. We also have the word went away. Good. And then the question, look, how many are left? How many are left? So we have three clues that tell us this word problem is a subtraction problem. Okay, so now we decided this is a subtraction problem. What number sentence are we going to use now? Remember that when we subtract, we take away from the whole. We take the largest number and we take away from it. Okay, so in this case, we say that blank minus blank equals blank. If you have the whole minus one of the parts, you will get to another part. Okay, you will find the other part. So, what are some of the strategies that we can use to solve a subtraction problem? Let's see. We certainly have the number line. But in this case, we're not going to count on. We're going to count back. Remember, we start from the greatest number and we find one of the parts. Always, the parts are always smaller than the whole. Okay? So this time we're going to count back. That's a good strategy. Then we also can use number bonds. In this case, if you take a look at the example, in this case, you have the whole and one of the parts. You need to find the other part. Okay? Also, we can have 10 frames, and instead of organizing them, you just cross out numbers so you can get to it. You can also use the cube train. In this case, you have the whole, so you make a rod of the numbers that you want, and then you break it apart. You take one of the parts away, and then you can know what's the other part. And finally, we can have, again, counters or drawings. In this case, you draw the total amount of circles or like frogs, like we just did, and then you start crossing them out, okay? Because you want to take away this part so you can get the other part, okay? I think I want to use a different strategy. Let's go with the number bonds. So if we have the number bonds here, remember that we have two parts and a whole. In the number sentence, we take away from the whole. We take away one of the parts from the whole, so that way we will find out what is the other part, okay? Because that's what we want. What is the other part? How many are left? So our whole is number 20, because there were 20 butterflies in total, okay? Then how many flew away? 8. So one of the parts is 8, definitely. And you need to find what is the other part. What is the other part? So in this case, if your whole is 20 and you take away 8, what is the number that is left? Remember that if you put together the two parts, you get to the whole. You already have the whole. So how many do you need starting counting from 8 to get to 20? 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. See, fingers are not so useful anymore, okay? But you can use your mental math. That also works. I got the number 12 because I had the 20 and you take away one of the parts, which is 8. And then you get 12 left, okay? So how many butterflies are left? There are 12 butterflies left. But I don't know, I did this with my hands and I'm not sure, I may have made a mistake. So it is very important to always double check, okay? Let's double check using 10 frames. Using 10 frames. How do we do this? There are 20 butterflies in my garden. The first thing we need to do is draw the 20 butterflies. We're gonna put a dot in every square until we get to 20. This is not, it's not necessary. You know, a 10 frame, the name says it. You know that when you fill out a 10 frame, you already have 10. And if you have 2, that's 2 tens. 2 tens make 20, okay? So the first thing we need to do is fill in the 10 frame with the number of butterflies, the total number of butterflies. So there are 20. 5, 10, 15, 20. Now what is the next step? What do we need to do? We have the 20 butterflies. Each one of these red dots represent one butterfly. What do we need to do now? Now we need to cross out the number of butterflies that went away. How many butterflies went away? 8. So we need to cross out 8 circles, 8 little dots. Okay? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we cross out these 8 butterflies that went away. So now, how many are left? If we took away all these 8, if you had a real thing that you can touch and put and take away, you wouldn't have to cross them out. You just take them out of the time frame. In this case, you can just cross them out. So now, how do we know how many are left? The first 10 frame is full, so we know that we have 10 over there.